What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Socially Awkward Podcast. My name is Adam. This is Ryan. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing much better now, sir. Was down and out. That's why we missed last week, because didn't realize until I tested that this past Thursday I had COVID.
That's I didn't know people were still getting that. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. It caught me off guard. Went to Reno.
Well,
for
how
a
did
wedding.
you like? What was your experience like? Was it rough on you? Did you have a ton of symptoms, or like what was it like?
So at first it actually hit me on that Monday. So when we did our podcast on Monday, I was actually starting to come down with symptoms. Then I didn't realize that I had like a little scratchy throat, and if anybody goes back and watch that last podcast, I was drinking a lot and muting a lot, so I had to cough and clear my throat. And I thought, okay, well, I just came from Reno, so it was for a wedding, so it was because all the smoke and shit inside the casinos and the hotels and everything.
That would have made sense,
right? But no, yeah, I was coming down with COVID. I was like, oh shit. But symptom wise, I had a fever, had all the flu symptoms, fever, cough. I had chills at night, like body chills, like I was shaking, cold, body aches.
were you like, this is it, I'm going down?
See, I thought it was just the flu. I tested that next day. I was like, I feel like crap, and it came back negative. So I tested like 3 times, and then the 4th time came back positive.
See, that's the weird thing about these tests, because apparently there's a lot of like false positives, and there's also a lot of people that test negative that have it. So like I think these tests, I don't know how reliable they are.
Yeah, I don't know. I got friends who are nurses saying, "Oh, the test and the data is unreliable. It's reliable. It's a mixed jury on it." But at the same time, like I was like, okay, cool. I don't have COVID. I can just go back my life. I have a little cold or whatever. I'm good.
Even if it was the flu, you should have quarantined a little bit.
Oh yeah, I quarantined. Yeah, I still quarantined. So my wife. That's how I tested for the 4th time, because my wife was like, I don't feel good too either now. She's coming down with something. Like, all right, yeah. Well, you work with the public more, so go ahead and get test. And so she tested. Hers came back positive right then. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. And so then I tested right after her, and then it came back positive. I'm like, son of a. I was like, what the fuck? And so then we scheduled a test for her for the urgent care. She went down there, tested, came back positive real fast. It usually takes like an hour or 2 to get results. It was like, no, 30 minutes. Yeah, you positive. I was like, holy shit. So we like, all right, well, stay inside the house, quarantine, order DoorDash, Instacart, everything like that. And it's just me and her in the house. And luckily my daughter is at her mom's house still. So yeah, it sucked. It was just it felt like the flu symptoms. So we're very happy that it wasn't worse than it could have been.
Yeah.
So I'm not downplaying it at all, the virus or anything. But yeah, seriously, it's on the recovery. I sweated out. Like I broke 2 fevers. I think 3 fevers actually I broke. But yeah,
wow.
It was nice.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it's just eventually. No one wants to get
Everyone will get it.
COVID, but it's a virus. It's like the flu. Eventually, everybody is going to get it. So you just hope that your immune system is, either through natural immunity or vaccination, or just maybe you just have a good immune system. Like I can fight off flu all day, every day. But why does my face look so red? Fuck. You started rubbing on it.
Are you just like so blessed to see me? Oh, you miss me.
My fucking face red. I don't even want to do this podcast anymore. All right. Well, let's talk about something a little less boring. What about video games?
Video games. Okay, yes, I love video games. And well, we both do. So yeah, absolutely. Let's get into video games. I've been seeing that you've been playing a new video game.
Dude, I have been. It's weird, man. I've been playing video games my whole life. And then I got really heavily into Call of Duty in the early 2000s. And then a couple of years ago, I got kind of burnt out. I didn't play video games very much because just kind of bored with everything. But here recently, I've started playing this game, Ready or Not. It's like a first-person shooter, tactical SWAT team, like super realistic type of unforgiving video game, and it's really like rejuvenated my love for playing video games with guys and just the whole camaraderie and just playing video games. I'm 40, but dude, I'm like a fucking 12-year-old when it comes to video games. Like I don't know. I don't do anything else. Like I don't go to bars. I don't have any crazy vices. I play video games.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's actually good because it's it keeps you out of trouble. So I'm right there with you. I'm 40 years old. I've always been a gamer since I remember getting Nintendo, then having an Atari. I was a little reversed because I was young enough that Atari came out before I was like old enough to play with it, but went backwards and got this stuff. My grandparents and mom and shit bought it for me, but yeah, I was a Nintendo baby all the way up in video games. Loved it. Now, first person shooters were always never really my thing. I like playing them. I'm not going to say I'm going to go pro and I'll whoop your ass. I'll talk shit, but I know I'll get my ass spanked sometimes. But I'm one of those progressive players. Like the more and more I play, I can hold my own after a while. Like if I just jump in, yeah, you gonna fucking just dominate the shit out of me.
Well, first person shooters, you really gotta play them a lot, or you're just gonna be a fucking bot. Not much you can do about that. It's just you just got. I mean, I guess it's like any game. So what kind of games? Like, do you play video games right now at all?
Yeah, actually, I do.
So let me guess, Star Wars.
That's one of them. Star Wars, but there are Star Wars games I do play. Yes.
Apparently, there's a new one that's pretty good,
dude. So there's a couple of them. They just made announcements too. And there's another one that they're working on that's about to come out. I'm super excited about. So this not even a release title yet. But they just EA and Respawn, yeah. They're about to recreate this one, but the current Star Wars game that I play, it's an MMO, multi-mass player online player game. And
so it's is it like an open world, like 50v50 stuff like that type of?
Yeah,
like team deathmatch type thing.
Not really a team deathmatch. You can have a PvP and all stuff like that. But this has like a different aspect. So role playing game, RPGs. Like that, shit like that. So that's what this one is. It's called SWTOR or Star Wars: The Old Republic. I play I have an account still. I play Warcraft when I can. The only thing about that is that I get engulfed in it. Like when I play those, it'll take time. Like I'll be in there. I can be there for hours to be able to get that flow.
Well,
you know.
I do know, man. Take it from me. I mean, I've never played World of Warcraft, but I've. Like today, like you sit down, you start playing a game that you get into, and you look up and like 3 hours has gone by. I mean, like time just moves fucking different when you're into a video game.
No fucking shit. Like I remember one time, I'll tell you the story too of why I actually do this now, and like I work from home. But when I was like working, 9 to 5 and working for somebody else. I remember one time I was like, I'll just play a game tonight before get ready for bed. And then like it turned to like, oh yeah, just one more hour. Next thing I know, fucking I look up, I heard something tweeting like I'm like flying the house. Look up, the fucking sun was rising. I was like,
what game was it?
Warcraft. Yeah. I was like, I was raiding with friends and shit. I'm like, oh, and get my guild. I was like, oh shit, I gotta be at work in like fucking 30 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, you get caught up in that shit, and it's just the time just keeps on going and going.
Yep.
And it's just like, so yeah.
Tell me about WoW. Is it like when you're playing? Is there like a voice channel where you can like talk to other people, or do you need Discord, or does it have its own voice channels? Like how's it work? Communication.
So back in the day, it didn't have those own voice channel. It does now. You can enable it and everything. They built it in there so you can talk to people.
Like proximity chat, even with like people that are not in your, I don't know what you call them, clans,
party,
groups, parties.
Yeah. They had was a guild chat, and they have like basically party chat.
Mhm.
I think now they still just have party chat. I haven't used their stuff in a while, but most people who actually, like, they call them hardcore gamers like that, people who are it's like grinders and shit like that,
Mhm.
they use either Discord or Valencio is old fucking
Discord's the big one. Like
Yeah.
every major streamer, when they stream with other people, obviously they don't want to be in party chat, especially with like first person shooters with all the menus. Your voice chat goes in and out. So Discord's a really clean, simple way to link everybody up. You can talk the whole time. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it works great. I love it. I mean,
Do you play it on PC?
Oh yeah, it's only on PC.
Okay. How often do you play it? Do you still play it? I mean,
so I play enough that I buy 6 months in advance every time when I play it, because it's
is it? I'm sorry, I cut you off. That was
no
really
no no
rude.
go ahead no go ahead.
Is it something that is something that, let's say, and I'm not asking because I don't know, we probably don't want newbies coming in, but is it something that if I was to be like, hey Ryan, can I play WoW with you? Is it something that I could get in on now and still like enjoy it? And would you even allow me to do that?
Yes, if you was serious about playing it, and it makes it like playing with somebody makes it way much fucking funner. Trust me.
Dude, I'll fucking, if I could.
But if
Yeah,
you
go
like
ahead.
fantasy, don't get into it. It's a grind. But the fact that if you have somebody that who's a higher level and that will fucking play with you and like, okay, let's go, boom, boom,
Mhm.
just drive you around until you get to where you go. It's power leveling. Yeah, it's fucking fun. It's cool.
Dude, I love people that are able to geek out on stuff. Like I've never been one of those guys who looks down on WoW players or people that like get really into like these dorky games. Like Pokemon's still kind of pathetic, but but WoW, just kidding, Pokemon people. But WoW is like one of those games where I can appreciate how intricate it is, and
Yeah.
and like the steep learning curve. Like there's some games you start playing them, like Call of Duty is one of them. I've been picking on Call of Duty a lot lately. Like I actually hate the game now. Like I won't even play it. Um, it's like one of those. If you have two brain cells, it's just easy. It's kind of like an iPhone. It's just easy operating system. You can just figure it out. It's all like, but then you got games that are like a ton of like detail and customization and just a much steeper learning curve, like something like WoW. And I I would want to play by myself for a day or two just to make sure. Like I would
Mechanics.
never to make sure that it's something that I could grind and because I would never ask to be part of whatever your little, like, what do you call them, like
Guilds.
a guild. I would never ask to be a part of that if I was going to pop in for a day and then never show up again because I didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It is addicting, and so you have to be careful with that. But like if you just like the mechanics on WoW can be depending on what class and all that shit that you do. So just like anything, like you have like certain roles, and I'm pretty sure like the ready or not or ready.
Ready or not, yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure if you have like a medic mechanic or something like that, or a
No,
class.
it's just like a SWAT team, but what you do is you, before you leave to go on your mission, you have like a precinct where you have a room where you can go gear up, and then you have a room where you like pick your mission, and you have like a firing range. So, well, a good team, and I've been on a couple of these where it's like, okay, well, let's make sure we have a guy with the battering ram. Let's make sure we have a guy with the riot shield. Let's make sure we have a guy with this wand mirror thing where you look under doors. So you try to kind of diversify what everyone is bringing to the mission. So you have all these different tools,
Okay.
at your expense. And but yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I want to talk more about WoW.
Okay.
I've heard it's kind of a money pit too, because you can get addicted because you can kind of jump ahead in certain things just by spending money on it, right?
No,
No.
not necessarily. I mean, you can just like instead of grinding or like leveling up, like just by getting experience, you can actually purchase a token and like, oh, I want to be level, the highest level there is, or the
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's not
rank
worth
up.
it. Yeah,
It's not.
it's not fucking worth it, because I'll tell you why. Now you got to learn how to fucking play that high level, and how to integrate spells in certain ways and like shit like that, because or the way how it just works, the mechanics of that class. So I'm
So
always
just
like,
because
nah.
just because you have a high rank doesn't mean you know how to do shit.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Like, you could be a highest level in a tank, for instance. Like you call it a tank, somebody who takes like all the damage and shit like that, who can actually
Mhm.
it takes a lot of damage. It's if you can't tank properly, you still get your ass whooped because there are certain mechanics you need to be able to know and not be able to pull your own. So like you'll have a fucking somebody a class that has a DPS class, damage per second, that is made to take down, do all the damage, and the tank is actually made to have all the damage focused on him. So it's the boss or the enemy is not hurting the party. And then you have a healer. And then you have the healer who's basically healing the fucking party, make sure everybody's staying alive. And so yeah, it's like it's a team dynamic game. I mean, you can play solo. You can like do the quests and shit like that, and they give
Sounds way more fun to have like an open chat and talking to people and communicating and all that stuff.
It is,
because that's kind of like Ready or Not. When I first started playing it, just for anybody interested, I have a gaming channel called Sugar Bread. It's brand new, and I've been playing this game that I'm talking about. But anyways, when I first started, I was playing single player with the AI as my backup, my forward backup, and it's like it's fun, but the AI is kind of stupid, and it can be the game's already methodical and slow as it is. So you really, when you can integrate other personalities and people actually doing stuff themselves instead of having to, I don't know, and communicating with real people and joking, and the camaraderie makes playing it and or streaming it way more fun for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean so when I first started WoW, I got into it because some people say, "Oh, well, actually, I purchased it because I was just got into like our role playing games, online role playing games." I was like, "Okay, this sounds fun," and then let me try it because it's like the rave, everybody's talking about it. I got to like level 35, and I was like, no, I actually got to level 25. I just got bored with it because like I was playing by myself. I was doing everything myself, and then I got the job, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, we play WoW. You should come play with this." I was like, "Okay, well, yeah, I'll try it again, see what happens." So I didn't see the value, is paying a monthly fee to subscribe to keep your shit going. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll try again, and then I still didn't really see the value because they were all high levels. So I can carry you this and this. We go do this, but I just felt like a burden. So I was like, I don't want to do that. Go ahead and have fun, dude. I can't really do shit. So I didn't understand the whole concept of grinding and like level up like that thing. Like
Yeah.
But then I finally got into it again. Like, oh, this is kind of fun. When I start really like digging into it and putting time and energy into it, I was like, okay. So then I start grinding and doing this and do that and learning the fucking everything about it. And I was like, all right, cool. So this is what it's about. So now like, I fucking love it. Then I joined a guild and have friends and like, oh, I'm doing this. So we're over here, we're doing this dungeon, and then we're doing this raid. And oh, yes, let's go with this people. Let's go PvP and whoop these people's ass. And we like it was like war.
Yeah.
Like, well, sometimes too.
So what's the overarching, like, what's the point of the game? Like, what are you trying to do when you play that game? Just take over land and shit?
Depends. If you're doing PvP portion of it, yeah. If you're doing like it's like who holds the territories and shit like that, and who it's basically bragging rights. Like for PvE, player versus everyone, or like player versus like the story, the world. That's like you want to do is basically there's always a main storyline that you're going with, and there's something called in-game content. And so you're going to take down this big bad in-game boss. Of that that expansion pack.
But you're talking about an offline single player.
It's not actually still online. It's still online. It's just like not per player versus player. So you're still playing with people. Like I can log on right now and actually queue up and get in a group with other people. There's no voice chat, like, or you can, if they have a server or something like that, or you can enable it, but you're still playing with people. Everybody in there is somebody you're playing with. You're seeing live people.
So is it like, I'm just confused on how that works. Okay, so when you jump into a PvP and you're part of your guild, whatever. So what happens when you shut it down? Can someone not just come take your shit when you're logged off for the night, or how's that work?
No, it's not like you can take your shit. No, because your character logs off. It like just dissipates, and then when you log back on, it reappears.
Okay, so is it one of those games where you can? I've clearly never played this game. Is it one of those games where, because I want to play a game that sounds fun to me, is where you could like build very detailed like cities and stuff, where like you're building shit, you're trying to build an army, you're trying to feed your people, and then at the same time you got to worry about some jack off in a couple towns over that wants to come try to take your stuff. Is it anything like that, or
no, they tried that at one point. It's called a having your what is it called? Fucking, it's basically having your own house or your own little fortress.
Mhm.
And they tried that. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But there are games out there like that. It's like 24/7, everything's going on. Excuse me. Everything's going on. And yeah, so I forget what game did that. I think was it not P Hub, Pug, or is
I'm not sure. Like,
what's it called?
isn't there a game called something about Civilization or
Civilization? I think you can do that with Civilization Online. Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't really like the style of that game. Like, I tried it for like a little bit. I think me and Katrina even tried to stream it once on a different channel. But in Civilization, isn't that one of those games where you like make a move and then you got to wait to make another move? It's just kind of. I want a game like.
You know what used to do that? I haven't played this game in a long time. It was an actual mobile game. Clash of Clans. Remember that?
I've never played it. I've heard of it though.
Okay. What you're explaining, like you build your own little community, like your little world. You have to keep on upgrading your stuff, your materials, and everything. And you had to make it so that you can defend yourself if you wasn't on there, because people can come and attack you, and then take your shit.
Yeah. You know what kind of game sounds? And I don't know if anything like this exists, where let's say in the game is the concept is something like, because I think the title of this is something like Future of Gaming. So what about a game like this, where it's like a actual open world? Let's say we have a planet, or maybe it's Earth, where let's say there was some kind of, the premises when you load up, there was some sort of natural disaster, some sort of ice age, or something that wiped pretty much everybody out. And you, hold on, Katrina's texting me. Let me mute that. And you're basically starting over, and maybe you get to choose what part of the world that you start in. You're in Africa, you're North America, whatever. And based off where you start is where you have to live off the actual resources that are like native to that part of the world. And so everyone's obviously going to go for something like North America, where it's like green and a lot of water and all that shit. But you have to actually start from scratch. And it's a very, very detailed, very intricate, very complicated, like mature game where you're literally trying to build back like cities, and there's like power struggles, and some guy that is from a different migrates down from whatever part of North America or South America and sees your city and then tries to like take over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about extremely detailed.
Yeah, you're talking about civilization. You're exactly that's exactly Civilization. Like online version of Civilization. And yeah, those are hella fun. Those games are fun as shit. Like if you have the time, and like then you structure so that you build your ranks and your military enough that intelligent wise they can the AI will start learning and just defend itself after a certain while. You put enough points and time and resources into it. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then people come down and try to basically invade your territory and oh yeah. And that's where Warcraft's WoW came from. Because it used to be called Warcraft. That's all it used to be called before. Then they made an online world of it. Say, okay, this will be online, ongoing, nonstop.
World of Warcraft. Gotcha.
Yes. So Warcraft, that was called a real-time strategy game. So it's crazy. Here's a funny story.
Go ahead.
I'll say a funny story is that my video game story that's so funny is that the reason why I started working from home and businesses was because I wanted to play fucking more video games.
Like I got to figure out how to be home more often.
That was exactly. I was like, bro, it was like between being balancing my family life, make sure my family's taken care of, and like emotionally and physically support and all that stuff like that, and financially, work, and then personal time. That was my the video games are my zen. You know, it's like, okay, it keeps me balanced. And I'm like, between that, like my zen, I can't really get into how I want to. I can't like be raiding all the time like I want to because I don't have the time. I gotta sleep some fucking time. So I literally start figuring out ways how to make more money from home or side hustle so I can offset the time I'm at work. So I can just keep showing like, okay, cool. And fucking next thing I know, I end up Xing out most of my video game time because I'm fucking running like 4 or 5 businesses. Because I'm like, well, okay, well, I'm not going 9 to 5 no more, but I'm working for myself. Oh yeah, I can do what I want. I can play video games anytime I want to. But now I'm like, no, motherfucker, now I'm making more money. So I'm like, okay, well, I want more money. I want more money. I want more money and more money. And then I was like, well, I don't fucking really play video games as I want to. So it's crazy. What happened?
Did I mute myself just now, or did that work? Oh,
yeah, that just worked.
My dog's barking, so I'm just trying to tell him to shut up.
So yeah, so that was my funny story about video games and like how I got there. Like, well, now.
Hey, I respect it, man.
It's a hustle, but
video games are so cool, man, because it's like it's a lot of people that don't play video games look at them as just like things for kids. It's a time waster, and look, it can be a time waster, but look, everyone has a thing. You know, some people like to go to the shooting range, some people like to hunt, some people like to go to the casino. Everyone has like a getaway from what they do to make money. Some people make money playing video games, but it's like everyone has doesn't necessarily have to be a vice, but everyone has a thing like a getaway or a vice. And dude, I fucking barely leave the house. Every now and then, me and Katrina will go on a date. We've been trying to do that more often, but I don't do anything. Video games are like my outlet to have fun, be creative, and get out of the real world just for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would be lying. Like, I wish I could get into something like WoW because I love the dorky nature of it. Like, I love all that. And look, when I was younger, I may make fun of people for playing WoW because I'm like, ugh, that's fucking corny. But when you get older, then you realize, look, people love geeking out on stuff. It's fun to geek out on something and be totally into something. You live one time. If you can find things that you actually love to do, and you find other people, like-minded people that love it too, and you have that camaraderie, it's a good time.
Absolutely. I mean, even if you don't get into WoW, you find something that you're good at, or like fucking Mario Kart on the Switch or whatever. It's fucking Mario Kart's fun. Like, I actually got Nintendo Switch because having grandkids, like, they come over down for the holidays and shit like that. Here, go fucking play, y'all. I want y'all fighting like, oh yeah, wait turns. I used to hate that shit. It's like, here you go. Here's 4 controllers. Fucking play. We have a big screen TV. Enjoy. Mario
Kart is a timeless classic video game. Right? They're still making Mario Karts, and they're fun. They're simple. They're easy to play, but it's still like got a very competitive still. Weirdly,
it's
enough.
Hella competitive. But even my 5-year-old daughter, who's not good at video games, and she'll get better. But at the same time, she plays it. She's like, okay, I'm playing with it because it pushes. Like, it's for everybody. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, I like Mario Kart. I was gonna say something. I forgot.
Remember when I was trying to so damn hard to like cancel video games?
Back in was that like the 90s or something when they blamed video games for all the violence and all that?
Yeah. I'm like, man, you better go on somewhere with that shit.
Look, I mean, there's probably, if there's a person that's already mentally ill, maybe a video game, but I think that's been debunked like several times. And matter of fact, I was hearing, I forget where I heard it. Take this with a big grain of salt, please. But I've heard that video games, they've actually done some adequate like tests on this, and video games actually helps with like your cognitive ability like your decision making skills,
Yeah.
like your mental reflex. It actually makes people. I don't think it's smarter, but it's more. It doesn't hurt like with
No.
all the dexterity of just like even using your hands and the hand eye coordination. Like there's a lot of positive. It's just like anything else, you know. If you're neglecting real world responsibilities nonstop to go play video games, then that's a problem. But if that's your pastime and you're, you know, let's assume you get a little bit of exercise, you go to school, you walk around, you're not just sitting around doing nothing all day every day playing video games, then that's too much. But just as like a pastime or just something you do in your free time, it's video game. There's nothing wrong with video games. They're actually pretty helpful.
I agree 100%. I mean, they help with hand and eye coordination. They help with problem solving. I mean, I remember that study. I heard that study too. I forget where it was, but yeah, absolutely. They're very extremely helpful. Hell, the army even at one point was using video games for recruitment.
And to
There was like
train, right?
yeah,
Or-
there was a whole fucking a whole video game they put out. It was a shooter it was by the army. I forget what it's called, and they were using that to like like you would upload it. It was online. They'll upload their information, and depending on your scores, well, we're gonna put you over here like as a sharpshooter because your fucking marksman is amazing in this game. Your
That
kill
doesn't seem like it translate the video game into real life
I'll
as
tell
far
you
as
why.
shooting goes. Because I mean, there's actually physical fundamentals that go into shooting that you can't replicate with your thumbs.
Being steady.
I don't know. I'm not buying that.
Like I said, I'm not.
Look, I could be wrong. I'm just saying that sounds. And then
But-
unless they're doing it with like a toy rifle, and they're getting like some like where you're at least using those mechanics. I just can't
Gotcha.
believe you could use a thumbsticks and be good at aiming, and then pick up an actual rifle, and that makes any difference.
No, I get that. I mean, because actually holding a gun is different, and I was the same way. But they were looking at people's scores. Like, hey, you'll be a good fit for this. I know that they were using it for a lot for too, like practicing for drone shit like that. People who do drone fighters.
Now that makes sense because you got to like fly the drone. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, they were using video games to recruit. I'm like, no shit. I mean, even back in the past, to fly planes, that was a video game. It was flight simulators.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a while, and people say, "Oh, video games just rot people's brain." No, it's money in video games. You got fucking people out here making millions. Like you got esports and everything out there. So it's the future. It's a part of entertainment.
Yeah, video games are awesome. And to talk about the future, I think VR, man, like as long as VR keeps improving, like I only have an Oculus. It's still pretty pixelated. It's kind of clunky, but you can see the potential there. My biggest problem right now with VR is every time I put a VR headset on, they give me a fucking headache. Whenever the part that like sits around like your head and stuff, like they give me a fucking headache. It's the same with like the 3D glasses you get like at Disney World or whatever. Like I gotta take them off. They give me like a pounding headache. Like anything that like touches like right here, like it gives me a crazy headache.
Okay.
But VR is especially, and I'm thinking of like a VR version of like Ready or Not, where right now I'm looking at a screen, 27 inches. But if you could have that experience right here, where like even if you're still using a controller, where you would have to like, I don't know, where like you're immersed in the world and projecting out another 5-10 years, and when you're talking about 4K, 8K type crystal clear surroundings, I mean that shit is gonna get awesome.
So here's the thing about that. I'm not even disagreeing with you 100%. Yeah, VR, because I got an Oculus 2. I got it for Christmas and I love it. It's fucking amazing. I haven't got a headache yet. I have got almost got nausea and sick one time because of a scene that was in the fucking video game. I thought I was actually fucking falling. I was like, I'm not falling, but fuck, it feels like it.
Yeah, well, when your brain is taking in that fall, it's still gonna fuck with you, make your stomach turn.
It's trying to embrace itself. Like, oh no, I'm okay. I'm still up. But yeah, it's funny, and I just learned that you can actually make it so that your Oculus, there's settings in there that you can enable and disable. You can actually go into developer mode, so you can actually make it so that it's more crisp, like you said, 4K
Mhm.
to a point like that. I'm like, oh no shit. So I'm about to do that when I'm feeling better. Once I'm COVID negative,
Wait.
everything.
Explain that a little more. So
Yeah.
there's a developer mode, and that makes
Yep.
it better quality. Why wouldn't everybody do that?
Because everybody doesn't know about it. Just like back in the day, like everyone doesn't know on how to fucking overclock your computer.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah,
You're
so
gonna
you
you're
can
gonna have to
actually.
explain that one to me a little more
Oh
too.
yeah, I'll probably do a video on it too. As my review for my Oculus, I do. But yeah, it's my friend was like, oh yeah, it changes. It doesn't like change like, oh my gosh, night and day. My actual hands look like fucking my hands. No, it's about like everything's like more crisp, a
You
little
talking
bit
about
more
like
crisp.
you talking about with the overclocking, or you talking about
Oh,
the
with
setting on the Oculus?
I'm setting on Oculus.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and how you can actually make it so that you can attach your Oculus to your computer, so you can actually play your VR games on your computer and shit like that. And it's like basically so you can
Hmm.
actually hack your not hack it. Hack is a word I guess you call it hacking. Basically,
Like a mod or something.
yeah, you're modding your shit, so
Hmm.
you get more of a better experience out of it. And I mean, shit, they've been saying that there's actually headsets out there. They cut fucking literally cost an arm and a leg, like out there. Like he said, $16,000 for a VR headset. I'm like, oh no, I'm cool. But they said no. But the fact of the matter is that it's actually that's quality of like 8K.
What kind of
Everything's
setup would you
crisp.
have to get 8K in a VR headset? You'd have to have like some crazy wires coming off of you. Like,
They had one. This guy, I watched the video. He had one wire. And I'm like, oh no shit, okay. And it started it ranged from 6,000 to 16,000, depending on how depth you went into it. And I'm like, okay,
that's
and yeah, like,
crazy.
but he said it was the best VR experience he has ever seen.
Oh, I
And if this is
bet.
where the future VR is going in, the world is in for a ride.
Yeah, because even like the Oculus I have, I mean, it's nowhere near even like 2K. So I mean, so even playing like 4K in an Oculus or in a VR, if you're playing the right kind of game, just like the first person shoot, like if you're playing a first person shooter with like 4K graphics, like right here, and that's all you
yeah,
see. I mean, that would be fuck. It'd be mind blowing.
no, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, on top of that, they get the chest, the vest, and shit like that. They get Oculus is actually developing the gloves, the touch gloves. Like so, like
Hmm.
you actually you pick gloves on instead of having the controllers. There's
Hmm.
gloves on that you got, and you because they already did push the update that you can actually use your hands without using the controller. I was like, it's crazy. It's moving real fast.
The problem, I think, and I'm sure maybe someone is working on this, but especially with like first person shooters, you can sit there, you can have like let's say it even comes like you can buy like a PC gun that you can use for different first person shooters.
Yeah,
Um and that'd be cool too. You could maybe buy a shotgun so you could have a shotgun one time or a AR or whatever. Let's say you have an AR. That part seems easy to have a gun that you're holding, have the experience right here. But the problem is the running around, right? Because like how do you like how do you if you're carrying a gun as like your controller for that game and the game's right here, and I know there's that game where you strap in on your around your
your waist.
waist and it has this little treadmill looking thing that goes in 360. But how practical is that? You know what I mean? Like
Pretty practical.
they need an efficient way for people to be able to. But I don't know. It looks fucking stupid.
It does look stupid as shit. But if you want that, like it's a basically like if I put it behind me, it's a little stand, and then you just strap it in there, and then you're wearing like footies or something like that, and just your shit slide. You just walk, and just it moves.
Yeah.
But I mean, every different games are different because one for instance, I was playing this one game, Creed. It's the like Rocky Balboa type game, but it's about Apollo Creed and shit like that.
Hmm.
And is that to move, you just go like this, move back and forth, like move your control like that, and you move forward. And you push forward and like that. It's like you're walking, and your mind's like, "Holy shit, okay!" And it works. You know how when you sway your hands when you walk, it worked. I was like, "Okay, that's one way." But I think there's some games there's a setting. I mean, besides that, like you just press the thumbnails or thing like that, and then you look around and you just like point like that. That's another way. So it depends on the game mechanic, I guess you that the whole moving forward and shit like that. Because there's games I play, like there's a Star Wars game in there for Darth Vader that you push forward and then like you basically select where you want to go with the arrow and then it just teleports. But you can actually move it change it so that it just glides too instead of just like teleporting. So yeah, I mean, there's different mechanics. I mean, when's the last time you played with your Oculus?
It's been a while. Like we played a little bit when we first got it. Played some of the Beat Saber things, things like that. What's the difference in resolution between the Oculus? Because I only have the first one in the Oculus too.
So I got a buddy who has had he had the old one, the Oculus one, and he's like, yeah, it's cool. And then he got the Oculus 2. So comparing to what he said it's night and day. It's a big improvement. It's a way big improvement. He's like, yeah, this one looks real dope and everything. And
you think I could?
It's what is that?
I'm sorry. Do you think could I hook it up to my computer and play Steam games through it? You think?
Yeah, I believe you can.
Because I'm wondering, like, I would like to give it a shot to see, like, if I could play Ready or Not through a VR, but I just don't know if it's possible.
Can you connect the Oculus 2 to Steam? Yep, you can play Steam games on the Quest 2 by linking your virtual reality set to a computer. You can access Steam VR games with a USB cable or a wireless AirLink connection. Your PC needs to meet the Quest 2 minimum system requirements, and you'll need to install the Quest desktop app. Yep, guess I'll be doing that fucking this week.
What game are you gonna play in VR?
I might try out. I'm going to do Saber Beats, of course, but I might do the Darth Vader Immortal and I've been putting off Onward to try that out because I hear that's
someone
pretty good.
was talking about that today. What is that again?
It's a army game, a military game, a shooter.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that too. Someone was telling me about that today on stream.
And it looks really good, bro. Like for VR, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I cut you off all the time.
But it's when you say, oh, it doesn't look like all 4K, not even 4K, but it's just like you're like, oh shit, okay, that gun's like you see all the ridges and everything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, last night I downloaded a game called Ground Branch. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like it's similar in the sense of to Ready or Not in the sense that it's like a hyper realistic, very unforgiving, like 2 or 3 bullets max, and you're going down. It's very methodical, but it's not based around police. It's based around like military type of like missions. And there's some like outdoor enforced areas and things like that. It seems I played a little bit. It's a little bit clunkier than Ready or Not. It's not quite polished yet, but it's like brand new. So and I'm really excited that there's so many of these like tactical, realistic shooters that are popping up, because for years it's just been like things like Call of Duty and Halo and Battlefield. It's just like, and those games are fun, but it's just there's nothing real about them. I mean, you can shoot somebody, especially on Halo, you shoot somebody with 100 bullets and then still wondering why the fuck that guy's not dead. But games like this, like it's just they're so much more realistic. And for the way my brain is wired, things like this, like these very tactical, methodical, very unforgiving and punishing games are I mean, it's just that's my heart wants it bad. But you're into like Fortnite and
no
Mario
I like
Kart. And
I do not like Fortnite. You know what's funny? It's like that was the reason why I didn't get into Warzone, because people was like when I looked at it, it was like that's fucking just it's Fortnite, but fucking with Call of Duty skins.
They definitely turned them. That's what they're trying their heart out to make it.
And I was
It's
like, I was
cheesy, and they keep gearing every year that goes by. They keep gearing Call of Duty more and more to children. And look, for them, it makes sense money wise because kids play video games more than adults on average.
Mhm.
But it's just the game is so uncompetitive now. It's like it's unplayable, and I'm completely over it.
Speaking of Activision and everything, because Call of Duty is owned by Activision. Well, not owned. Well, yeah. It's made by
Activision,
Activision.
Infinity Ward. Like, it's hard to keep track of who does what over there. There's
Right.
Activision, Infinity Ward. There's Raven. There's Sledgehammer. There's like a billion different people that work on these games. I don't know who's doing what. Raven. I think I said that.
Yeah. No. What do you think about the Microsoft buying Activision?
I think that it will ultimately be good for the game. Now, what I hope they don't do is make it like exclusive to Xbox. Eventually, I think I saw a tweet by Activision that said their games are still going to be all platforms up until at least until 2023, but it gets a little shady year after that.
Yeah.
Because I hate to see anybody with a PlayStation all of a sudden not be able to play Call of Duty anymore.
I'd be pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, a lot of people would. It wouldn't make sense money wise. So,
Yeah.
But as far as the game itself, man, I obviously Microsoft has like Activision. They're by no means a poor company. They're a AAA rated billions of dollar company. But no, when you go to Microsoft, you're talking about a different fucking reality of how much money you can spend on these games, and they need to completely remake the game on a brand new engine with updated 4K, 8K type VFX, and Microsoft can do all that. And I've heard they're going to start going to since Microsoft's talking about instead of trying to drop a new Call of Duty every year, it's going to be every 2 or 3 years, so they can make better games and drop them less often, but they're much better polished games. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I hope for the best. Look, I love Call of Duty. I would love to go back and it feel competitive and not feel like a fucking cheeseball game. But right now, it's just they've completely turned me away from it. I hate it.
Hey, I don't blame you. I mean, you know what you like. So I mean, I, I got a friend. From what you said, the cheating is real bad, and I'll just leave it at that because I didn't realize how bad it was that people are actually making a profit off of that shit. So, it's crazy. So, and I always wondered too. Like, I mean, I remember back in the day, like when I had a not PS, what was it, Xbox? I think it was 360 back in the day, and when they first came out with like modded controllers and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
and people used to get pissed and like, oh, you have a modded controller and this, and like you actually just got like banned for that shit. Like, oh, we can detect if you using a modded controller, and
Yeah.
like, god damn, y'all really crying this bad off a fucking game. But no, I mean, hey, people, I get it. If you enjoy something, you want a fair match. You want something. If you actually have a skill and put a lot of time into it, you want something that's gonna be fair, not somebody just like some fucking noob come off the street and like, because I got this one little fucking hack and I can whoop your ass.
Well, what sucks about the cheating is that, especially in a game like Warzone, where you can put like 20, 30 minutes easily into one game, and then just to die to a hacker, it's like you're literally wasting your time. Like, because the hackers obviously have all the advantages with wall hacks. They have aimbot. I mean, I saw the other day in Warzone they have fucking flying cars now. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm out. Like, man,
What?
yeah, swear to God, like I've seen videos of they literally flying cars and there's like shooting out of the cars and stuff. It's a fucking train wreck over there, man. And I'm just like, I know I talk a lot about Ready or Not, but this game, there's no reason to cheat. I mean, it's you against the AI doing stuff. I mean, you have to be a fucking loser. Where you going? All right, I love you. Be careful. I mean, you have to be a fucking loser to cheat at a game where there's like you're on a team with everybody on your team is a real person. You're playing against AI. If you're cheating against AI, you need to get a girlfriend, dude, or something. It's like Jesus.
But for sure, it's crazy. But I mean, I mean, good times. I mean, video games is going to be around, and cracks me when people's like, oh, well, that's for kids. No, it's entertainment. I mean, people, like I said, when people can make millions of dollars off of video games, whether it's professionally whether it's getting a sponsorship, whether it's out there doing whatever you're doing, whether it's just casual time and it's a relaxation for you. Hey, hang out with your kids or your grandkids, or just hang out with your friends. It's a good thing to have, and I'm glad that video games are out there and they're constantly evolving.
Yeah,
because I love them. I love them. It changed the game, literally.
Would you ever get a chip in your, like, I know Elon Musk has got like that Neuralink
Nah, I
stuff.
ain't doing that shit. I'm scared. Nah, fucking when you see, here's the thing. And the reason why I say I wouldn't do that is because one time when I first started wearing Bluetooth tubes and earphones like that, wireless shit, the fucking thing, the first one I ever bought, shocked my fucking ear.
Really?
I had to jerk that shit out so fucking fast. I'm like, what the? So I don't know if it's shorted out, and that shit hurt. I'm like, that probably could have been worse than what I thought. But
fry your brain,
right? So getting a chip implanted into your skull or into your body
not your thing, huh?
Yeah, that scares the shit out of me, because now when people have control over your neural system,
I mean, they wouldn't have control over it. I mean, it'd be like a device for you to. I mean, I guess it'd have to be linked up to satellites and shit for it to all work.
You think you got Bell palsy now, motherfucker? Shit.
Hey, I'm finally able to. I can almost spit normally now. I did it in a shower last night. Yes, it's not 100%. It's probably like 80%.
What did I tell you about spitting?
All right, man. With that, I think we're going to call it there. Thank you, guys. Hey, so today's Wednesday. If we get our shit together, we'll try to go live again, and so be a little more prepared and try to go live. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Leave us a like on the video. Help us get on the good graces of YouTube and the good old algorithms. But guys, we'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. And do you have anything else to add?
No, guys, be safe out there. Have fun. And until the next one, guys, hit subscribe, like, and share. And love you guys. Until the next one.
Take care. Bye-bye.